Hello and welcome to Oscar Mike Radio Special Edition. You might be saying to yourself, hey, I've seen that woman before just recently, and you'd be correct. But like Oscar Mike Radio, she truly is on the move, on mission all the time. Heather Clark, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back again. Good to see you again so soon.
No problem at all. We're talking right now because we have this Hearts for Warriors event February 12th at the Boondocks in Columbia, Tennessee. And Danielle Rocco and myself will be there, doing stuff as we normally do. But you're going to be one of the premier artists.
Yes, I'm so excited. This is going to be so much fun and a great cause.
Absolutely great cause. But, really, you're kind of like, I think of you as the monarch butterfly. You're in your cocoon right now, and all kinds of changes coming on. And one of
Yeah.
the things that's happened is you've written a song or a couple of songs with Chris Turner, who's going to be there as well, Marine veteran, and you're going to perform it for us.
Yes. Yes. Getting back into music is kind of something new. I've been performing since the age of 4 in my living room. I grew up with country music and learned how to sing with Patsy Cline and all the greats. So country music is by far my first love. I performed a lot when I was younger and had a family and kind of put it on the back burner. Didn't really ever think I was going to revive it. And in the last couple of years, it's really served as a good therapy for me to get out a lot of stuff I was going through in the military. And I started connecting with different military musicians and writing music in all kinds of different genres from rap to rock to country. And I had this idea to write a song about not just being a female in the military, but what life is like as a military spouse, because I was both. And Chris and I started talking with one idea in our head of where we were going, what direction. And I started talking about a female vet I was in Afghanistan with, and her relationship through her military trials as being the one that stayed in and her husband got out. And we went with their love story through the ups and downs that they had and how they came back together. And it just turned out to be an absolutely beautiful song that we're going to dedicate it to him that weekend.
Well, that's amazing. I can't wait to hear it. And folks, this is the Hearts for Warriors event again at the Boondocks in Columbia, Tennessee. JJ's Barbecue of Columbia will be there putting on food. There'll be raffles and prizes, and you'll get to hear artists that up close and personal. It's a great place, and you're going to get to hear Heather perform this for us. But what's the songwriting process like? You said you got back into it. First of all, wait, hold on. First question: do you know who Luke Bryan is?
I do. Yes,
Do you know who Jason Aldean is?
I do.
Okay, we're going to stop right there. Okay, moving on.
Again, I don't get to know why.
No, we're not going. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. There's a reason, and we've accomplished the mission. We're moving on. When you started getting back into music, when I think Patsy Cline, I think Stand By Your Man. But when you get back into writing music and making this story come alive, I mean, what was your approach to this?
So my approach was really I'm really on this path to make female veterans and the trials and issues that we go through more known, and that was kind of my first objective with that song. Is I wanted the audience to realize it was the female that was the veteran in the song, and originally it was about leaving on deployment, etc. And as I started to tell this story about my friends, that was a marriage in the military is not easy. I mean, it's never easy, but it's really not easy in the military. And that was a marriage that I really looked up to. And when it came to a point that they were going to go their separate ways, I was really heartbroken. And it just ended up about 1 month before they were actually about to sign the papers. They saw each other in a bar. And she said it was like their eyes met. They just looked at each other and they're like, we have to give this another try. And when I told Chris that, he's like, we should write about that. That's what we should write about. And then this beautiful love story from a male's perspective and a female's perspective, the struggles that you feel, and then just when they came together, it just turned out to be such an amazing story. And even when I played it for my 16-year-old and she read the lyrics, she's like, Mom, this is so good. I wish I could come watch you perform. And every time Chris and I are writing, it's gotten to the point that I'm like teary-eyed at the end. Yesterday we finished it up and he's like, are you going to cry? I was like, I just might. So it's just been a great journey with Chris, and he's such a sweetheart. I just love him to death.
So love is real to you.
Absolutely.
You believe in the power of love.
I do.
I
And
gotta
we've
tell
had
you.
this conversation before.
Well, kind of. I'm more of the yes song owner of a lonely heart, spare than the owner of a broken heart. But you and Danny are chipping away, or trying to anyway, with a sledgehammer. We'll see.
Yes. We'll get there between the two of us.
I'm telling you, it's like a blitz. But it brings back a certain point, where you're writing about if two people who may go through ups and downs, or may just say, you know what, screw it, I'm done, I can't do this anymore. But what I'm hearing is, if two people really want to go through hell for each other, something beautiful can come of that.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. If you, it's not, love's not enough. Obviously, there are other factors that go into it, but I really truly believe that, love is such a powerful thing that you can use it to bring yourself together. And even if you do fall out of love with somebody at some point, I think it's possible to fall back in love with them. You just have to be open to it. You have to be able to communicate. And, one of the strongest thing that was ever said in a relationship that I was in was validate what I'm saying. That hit right here, because I'm very stubborn and sometimes I just don't listen. And I just want my way,
No,
me,
not Heather.
me. But that really hit me, and I've tried to take that with me forward with any kind of interaction that I have with my children, with relationships, whatever. And they just proved the masses wrong, and now they're back together and have beautiful children and living the life.
Well, that's amazing. I can't wait to hear it. And you're part of, like, Chris Turner's a Marine Corps veteran, you're a Navy veteran, and it's just nice to see these veteran artists being given a place to really showcase their talent and skills, raise money for a good cause. There's not enough places doing that, and there's many talented people in our community. So it's
There
you're
is.
gonna be part of something special. How's that feel to you, to know that this is not just a song you're going to sing for a YouTube video, but you're really trying to benefit other people with it?
It feels good anytime that I can find a way to not just give back to our veteran community, but to highlight them. These kind of events that are put on the Boondox, I think are so great. I love that place, the energy and the feel of it. I felt like I was kind of walking into a movie set almost. It's really captures the spirit of Nashville and country music. And like I said, growing up with country music, I grew up in Wyoming. To be able to come and sing, in Nashville for a veteran cause is more special to me than I can even tell you. I'm so excited, and I just never thought that this was actually going to happen.
For me, and I agree with you. For me, there's a different feeling there. It's not just a club or a music venue, but there is some kind of energy there, and I think it starts with the ownership. I mean, Woody and Sherry support what you all are doing. Michelle Baxter is a hard
Yes.
charger for veterans, and you have the entire staff trying to make it a real positive event for us. And I really like the fact that you're close to the performance. You can, watch the performance go on there. The musicians will stay after a set and, talk to people. And so you feel like you're part of something close and intimate, versus going to a show where you're, 200 feet back and really can't experience it
Right.
like the same way you can here. And so I'm excited, and we're trying to raise some money for these veterans artists so they can keep doing this because COVID-19 has been such an impact.
Mhm.
So this is just one thing you have going on. We'll go back to this in a second, but you've got other things going on. Tell us about that.
Gosh, I'm just so busy. So yeah, I'm working on a new company with David Johnson. It's a new wellness company for veterans. We're working on that and getting out yoga on a digital platform to veterans all over the world. Be the only one of its kind with specialized military yoga classes. Going back to grad school this week for public health because I think it's really important to to not only finish my master's but to have that knowledge to strengthen my own yoga programs for veterans. And gosh, moving and doing music. I got music with Raymond Lott, Marine rapper, coming out soon. We're
Oh,
also doing a
nice.
couple other songs together this year. A song coming out on Silence and Light's new album. So I really am just keeping myself busy, and I love the diversity that is my life. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, I think it just shows that if you want to have that diversity, if you want to be involved on multiple mission fronts, as long as you're doing it for the right reason, good things will happen. I think that's what we're
Hmm.
seeing here. Uh, I met you in September, and this was just you were building the foundation, and you knew the direction you wanted to go. But now that other people have seen, how authentic you are, it's taking off. And we the crowd, people like Danielle and Michelle, myself, get to see the transformation up close, which is why I'm like, this, when the butterfly comes out of the cocoon, that's Heather Clark, it's going to be an amazing thing. So I'm really, from my perspective, I'm really happy to be able to see that up close and personal.
Well, thank you. That's a beautiful analogy, and I think it's very accurate. I really feel like this year is my year to come out, as you said, and to have close friends like you guys be there with me for the ride is just really amazing, and I can't wait for what the future holds. I'm really excited about what we're going to be able to accomplish this year.
Now, do you play an instrument, or is it just your voice? I wouldn't say just your voice. I'm just curious.
So I used to play piano. My grandmother got me involved in music pretty early, playing piano. Used to play around with the guitar, but I'm kind of like one of those people. If I don't play it consistently, I kind of lose it. But I definitely want to get back into playing the guitar because I can strum it enough to get a song out, to send to somebody else so they can do the composition. But I could just lose myself for hours, honestly, singing and either playing the piano or playing the instrument. And music is coming back into my life in such a strong way. I really feel like there's a lot more songs coming out of here, and I want to be able to combine that with an instrument.
So, let me ask you this. I'm kind of I wouldn't say I'm even a yoga novice, but it seems that you could almost take yoga movements and do these songs and put them like you have the yoga exercises going on while the songs in the background, and you do the song to yoga. I'm sure it's been done before, but I'm just curious. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to see.
You're reading my mind.
Oh wow, no, I'm not.
I'm working on a yoga dance mix right now, actually. So
Wouldn't
we'll be
it just it came to my mind because if you had music and yoga together, the two really
Mhm.
work off of each other.
Right.
One's physical, one's mental and emotional, and it's just one more thing. And I'm sure it's been done before. I don't even know, but
It
I was just
actually has not. This is something I actually talked to Raymond about a couple months ago. Not in the way that I'm doing it, maybe with meditation music or Middle Eastern music, but not in the way that I'm combining pop music and rap and everything like that. So that's something that I had talked to Raymond about. He's like, nobody's doing that, and that would be one more thing that sets you apart. And so I am actually working on a couple different song mixes to mix in with yoga
so speak.
because I want to make it fun. I want to make it so everybody wants to do it.
So speaking of music, you talked to the Marine rapper recently on your podcast. I wanted you to really kind of go into your podcast here and tell people how they can find it. And what do you think about
Mhm.
podcasting?
So right now I'm just wrapping up filming, and Raymond was kind of my first one out of the gates, and the other episodes I've had some absolutely amazing guests. Like Donnie O'Malley was one of the coolest guests I've had. Had a really great time with him. And so those will be going into editing and will be coming out hopefully sometime in February or March. It's called Seven Echo Podcast, and it's sponsored by a veteran job agency called Seven Eagle Group.
Okay.
So those will be coming out soon, some new ones. But the thing I really found about podcasting is the very first one I noticed with Raven, like I thought it was supposed to flow a certain way, and I found out I was like, why am I talking so much? I need to let him talk more. So the next ones after that, I was like, you need to just like relax and treat this like a conversation, not an interview per se, because most of the people that I interviewed, I knew pretty well. And even if I didn't, I just found that I was able to sit back and have a conversation with them and kind of go back and forth. And it's an art to learn. But man, I love talking to people. I just discovered I really enjoy having these conversations with people, and I've made some great connections lately. I even had someone on that's now was a canine handler in the Army, is now a dog trainer for celebrities, and so we're gonna film a yoga service dog class out in California together. So
Get out.
just all kinds of great connections are coming through all these people I'm meeting and podcasting, and it's such a fantastic world, and it's so much fun. And coming up too, we've got a special thing that Danny and I are working on that's still kind of under wraps that about, but we got some cool stuff going.
No problem, no problem. I mean, and I would certainly echo what you said. I mean, for me, it's meeting people, and it's just giving them time to tell their story their way. And yeah, it's a learned. I mean, a lot of people like it's a linear process. I'm like, no, it's not a linear process, because people aren't linear. Human beings aren't linear
Right.
themselves. So I'm like, you have to allow the conversation to flow, and you have to check your ego. And sometimes the best thing to do is just to let them get comfortable, and then they'll start having, that's when the good stuff happens. So
Right.
I'm just happy you're enjoying it. It looks like you're having a blast doing it, and I really want to see you succeed in it.
Thank you.
You were talking about last time, doing more of like a yoga retreat, or an online yoga platform. So I went on Instagram, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. All these pictures I've been looking at of people, men and women, putting themselves into contortions are out. You told me that's garbage. But I guess what I'd ask is, if I'm going to, try to learn how to do this and not make a fool out of myself, well, that's pretty easy to do when it comes to yoga. What resources should I do or use to kind of, get more, knowledge?
Until the channel is up and going, which hopefully it'll be soon. Honestly, one of the best yoga teachers out there right now is called Yoga with Adrienne. Not only does she have a ton of stuff to choose from, but she's a very chill yoga instructor that does it in her house. Most of the time, she's like in t-shirt and sweats. She has a really great calming voice, and it's nothing over the top crazy. It's just the very basic yoga moves. And so anybody can go on her channel and learn the basics. That's a great place to start. And she even has a 30-day program that you can start with to keep yourself in check, that you can kind of see your progress as you go along. So she's always been my favorite, and I hope to, capture the same audience that she has in the way that she has, with the simplicity of what real yoga is.
Because it really is about fundamentals with yoga, right? It's understanding the
Yes.
fundamental. Okay, so there's no rushing here. You've got to get the fundamentals down to be able to be a good practitioner.
You need to learn how to breathe right. Don't worry about if you're in the postures fully or correctly. Match that breath. It's incredibly important to be able to fully get the entire experience of it and actually make the physiology of it happen correctly as well, that it can actually heal you.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Oh, one thing that just came to mind as we're sitting here is, have you done any acting? It looks like you may have done acting at one point in your life.
I took a couple of acting. I've been asked that several times, and I've taken a couple acting classes. I really didn't feel like I had a knack for it because I was very conscious of what people were thinking. But as I go along with podcasting and different things that I do, I find kind of that I do have that. Even at a hike where I was teaching yoga, I was like in full drill sergeant role in my head. And then as soon as we stepped off, I was like quiet for the rest of the day. And I remember my mother saying the exact same thing, that she kind of had in her job. She did a lot of music events and concerts and a lot of bartending and stuff. And I remember her saying like that was her stage and she was on. And then when she came off, she really kind of kept to herself. So I've kind of discovered that about myself recently. And even hanging out with my friend Michael Enright, who's an actor, he was putting us through acting games and lessons. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. And then I just got up and did it. I was like, oh, that wasn't so hard.
So is it really about just finding a place in yourself where you can try something and be in the moment versus, embracing fear and, letting those preconceptions limit you?
It's really about being comfortable with yourself. And I was watching the very first Vet TV podcast with Danielle Rocco this last week. And there was a question that came in about, if I am a veteran and I'm interested in getting acting, what would you suggest? And one of the things he just suggested is you need to relax. You need to not worry about what people are thinking. You need to be able to just go with the flow and be versatile and change back and forth. And it's all about, that relationship with you and not worrying about what other people think. Because once you don't worry about what, are they looking at me? Do I look stupid or am I doing something wrong? You get in your own head and you can kind of feel the role, as it were, whatever you're doing. Just learn that skill set, not to worry about what's going on with you, and just have that relationship with yourself.
Gotcha. It makes sense. And I can certainly, tell you from my life, things started to change when I got, comfortable with who I am. Yes, there's areas to improve, absolutely. But, the core of who I am, I'm like, this is who I am. This is what I am. This is where I'm supposed to be. And it was a real feeling of peace. Real feeling of peace.
It is when you can let go. It's hard to explain when it happens. It's kind of like when kids learn how to read. One day they can't read, and then the next day they can. It like snaps. And I kind of compare that to the same thing. It's just like one day you just like, oh, this is me. This is who I am. And you love who you are, and you accept who you are, and you stop worrying about what other people think.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are again with Heather Clark, Navy veteran, yoga practitioner. I'm going to say artist because that's what she is. That's what she does. And multi-talented, certainly. Been great getting to know you. And she is going to be at the Boondox performing with Chris Turner, Marine veteran, for the Hearts for Warriors benefit event for veterans. Yours truly will be there along with Danielle Rocco and a bunch of others. And, I can't wait to see what you do next. And it's just been a month and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, graduate school, sure, no problem. I mean, I'm like, before I know it, she's going to be running the whole show. I love it. I really do, because, so many people limit themselves and won't take that step or won't keep stepping. And you're just saying, forget all that. Let's just keep going. And, if there's something there, I'm going to try it. I love it.
Yeah, there's one show, and I can't remember what it was. I watched it years ago, where this woman she could do everything. She was this doctor, but she could, she was a top researcher. She could drive a sub. She could fly a helicopter. You name it, she could do it. And I was like, I want to be her. I want to do as much as I possibly can in this life and leave a good book to read.
We really only do live once, and life's a gift, right, Heather? Would you say life's a gift?
I'd say that is absolutely a gift. Yes. Use everything you can, do everything you can. Don't have any regrets. If you want to do something, go do it. Get outside your bubble, make yourself uncomfortable, and grow.
Well, she's not going to be uncomfortable on stage, and she's done it. She has, co-authored and is going to perform this beautiful song with Chris Turner on February 12th. You're going to want to get there. I have the link to the Eventbrite in this show post. So there's no excuse. If you want to make a donation, you can also do that for the Eventbrite. And all your money goes 100% to support veterans.
So
Well,
come
Heather,
out, y'all.
absolutely. Come out. Heather, thank you so much for your time and coming on. I can't wait to see you.
Me too.
Well, as we
Thank
say,
you for having me on.
no problem, no problem. As we say in Oscar Mike Radio, we are mission in flight.